Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. You are live with me, Raphael, your community manager for Wirex, and welcome to this week's edition of Wirex's crypto coverage live. Now, we have a jam-packed crypto coverage live for you guys today. We're going to be covering all of the best cryptocurrency international geopolitical news for you today, and that includes, so please pause the video and read the disclaimer to get an insight as to our position with regards to this broadcast. So we're actually going live on a variety of different channels. We are live on Twitch, we are live on DLive, we are live on Smashcast, we are live on YouNow, we are live on Ustream, everywhere. So we're all over the place now. Wirex is literally all over the place. But yeah, click on that disclaimer. And what are we going to be covering today? Well, we're going to be covering some huge news. We're going to be covering what is the Bitcoin death cross and why is that really significant, and that's why the bear is obviously fighting the moon this week. We're also going to be covering a lot of different international geopolitical news with regards to blockchain and cryptocurrencies from Sierra Leone, Russia, Switzerland, and of course the UK, and what has been discussed at the G20 meetings in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So we're going to be looking at that, and we're also going to be exploring what Morgan Stanley has been saying about cryptocurrencies and Peter Thiel from PayPal. But first, we have the big Wirex news, and as you can see, that is Pavel, and he has released some really interesting news with Wirex and with regards to what Wirex are going to be doing in Q2 of this year. So, as we can see from this article from Bitcoin.com, Pavel has reported to them that Wirex will be offering a cryptocurrency exchange to top up a payment card within Q2 2018. Now, these cards are obviously going to be 3D secure as well, and will support safe online payments as well as purchases over the counter as well. So that's really exciting. We've opened, obviously, as you guys already know, we're opened offices in Tokyo and in Singapore, and we received $3 million in investment from SBI Group. So what this will do, well, Pavel has said Wirex is bringing to Asia the first ever multi-currency accounts and cards for spending cash converted from crypto, making everyday purchases much simpler. And our cards are great from transactions in stores, buying goods online, or withdrawing money from ATMs. We were the first to bring such cards to the world, and now we're the first to bring multi-currency accounts with new contactless debit cards to Asia. We're pleased to let our Asian customers know here that cryptocurrency spending just got easier. And of course, you have a mobile Bitcoin wallet within the application too. So that's really exciting news from Pavel in Asia. Next bit of news is with regards to, well, tomorrow, the date keeps changing because we want to fix all the bugs. We don't want to release anything to you guys that is buggy and not working. So if you're based in the UK, from tomorrow you will be able to buy Bitcoin instantly via a debit or credit card top up. So yeah, if you need any help with regards to how to do that, if you don't remember the feature from before, check out the tutorial, and that is on YouTube. But for you guys that are in Europe, what can you expect, right? UK residents, you're really lucky. You guys have had it live now, and you can go and get a free virtual payment card right now with a real bank account and sort code and account number, all fully registered with the UK Financial Conduct Authority. So what does that allow you to do? It allows you to receive deposits straight into your account via fast bank transfer, which is only available in the UK. And that will allow you to instantly receive British pounds that you can then convert to Bitcoin, or vice versa, to make you able to convert Bitcoin into fiat and then spend that. So lots of different options there for you. It's really flexible payment account. It is literally bridging the gap between banking and the future of finance. So that is really, really cool news. Now, what's next? Well, some more Wirex cool news. Do you want some more? Well, if you want the biggest insights, the best developments, and if you want to sort of kind of pick the brain of the founder of Wirex, what I suggest you do is I suggest you go onto YouTube and check out the founder interview. We've got another one coming up next month. So if you've got some burning questions that you'd like to ask the founder of Wirex, please visit our community forum. That's community.wirexapp.com. And you can post your questions there and I will ask them to the founder on that date. So please make sure you do that and we can get you guys your questions answered, and you know, you get to pick the brains of the Wirex founder. What more can you really ask for? And following on from that, when can you expect the cards if you are within the EU? Well, the UK are already getting their cards, and also France, Italy and Germany will be going live sometime before the 25th. Then after the 25th, we'll have other EU-based countries, which include Romania, Spain, the Netherlands, Belgium, Austria, Sweden, Portugal, Greece, Croatia, Poland, Bulgaria, the Republic of Cyprus, and Norway. And essentially, those EU countries will have the account feature activated by the 31st. Now, if you're outside of the EU, don't fret. The buy Bitcoin via a credit or debit card top-up feature will be available to people outside of the EU. Next, we've got the big news, obviously, with the G20 that's currently happening now in Buenos Aires, and they are currently discussing cryptocurrencies. So the 20 biggest superpowers from around the world are openly discussing crypto. What are they saying about crypto? Well, they're discussing, you know, when is a Bitcoin not a Bitcoin? Well, when it's an asset. And I think this is an amazing step forward, and it's one of the reasons probably why we've seen a bit of a bull run within Bitcoin and cryptocurrency recently. These countries are increasingly seeing cryptos as assets, not a currency, and that's essentially what they are in a very broad and vague spectrum. In my opinion, what a crypto is, it is a hybrid asset, right? There is nothing that we currently have in financial definitions that defines for a crypto asset. What is a hybrid asset? Well, a hybrid asset means it does a lot of things. It is an equation, so it can be used to take measurements, it can be used to take financial measurements. It is a store of value, like gold or other things. It's also a tool for regulators. It provides instant access to an entire database of transactions, so it's a regulatory tool. So these are all things that have their own single definitions that doesn't really apply to crypto, but crypto can perform the exact same functions. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. The amount of benefits that this offers to financial institutions and governments is unbelievable, unfathomable. So that's being currently discussed now. And even Donald Trump, the person that we've never heard discuss anything about crypto previously, well, not to my mind anyways, he's recently come out and mentioned that cryptocurrencies from third world countries looking to circumvent financial laws will not be accepted in the US. And I think he was referring to the Petro, which is recently been released by the Venezuelan government. But anyways, this is a very interesting development. We're very, very early with regard to the adoption of cryptos. But this is good news from the G20 in Argentina and Buenos Aires. Next bit of huge cryptocurrency Bitcoin news. Well, we're getting closer. The Lightning Network for the Bitcoin mainnet has been launched, but it must withstand the test of time to prove itself. So I've been following a lot of what Jimmy Song and Andreas Antonopoulos have been tweeting on Twitter, and they've been talking about the first beta implementation of the Lightning Network, which is basically available now for institutions to develop LApps, so Lightning applications, on the Bitcoin blockchain protocol. the first beta implementation was released, and what is currently being reported from Andreas's and Jimmy Song's Twitter accounts is that we are seeing a large number of DDoS attacks. For those of you who don't know, DDoS is denial of service attacks, and that's really cool. So I mean, we've got more than 1,000 nodes and 2,000 channels since the launch of the beta. And we're getting DDoS'd, which is great because the more the network is attacked, the more likely that fixes can be released quicker. So, you know, it needs to be attacked. So hackers, please do your worst. Get the Lightning Network, attack the Lightning Network as much as possible. And then we can find all the vulnerabilities that are there and fix them as quickly as possible. Next, with regards to Peter Thiel. For those of you who don't know, Peter Thiel is one of the co-founders of PayPal. Not my favorite co-founder, that is Elon Musk, but Peter Thiel is one of them. And he is betting on Bitcoin because he suggests that one cryptocurrency will become the online equivalent to gold. This is supported by a number of influencers within the industry because the computing power and costs with regards to cryptocurrencies, especially proof of work cryptocurrencies, means that in the future, it's really, really only likely that only one proof of work algorithm can exist. This is debated, of course, but if, you know, the consumption of electricity continues and the processing capacity demand continues to increase, that we will see basically an evaporation of lots of proof of work blockchains, and they will be drawn into one. So Peter Thiel is suggesting that's probably going to be Bitcoin because it's the biggest, and he's also neutral and skeptical of just about everything else at this point, with a few possible exceptions. However, he said that there's a 50 to 80% chance that Bitcoin ends up being worthless, and there's a 20 to 50% chance that it ends up moving higher. So those are contradictory statements there from CNBC. But let's watch this space, because we're going to be discussing some sort of price movements with regards to crypto as well. Following on from that, Morgan Stanley has come out and said that Bitcoin's boom and bust is like the .com bubbles within the NASDAQ, but it's happening at a rate of 15 times faster. And they've come out with a few statistics to go along with this. So they say that the NASDAQ's 278% climb took place over 519 days, ending in March 2000. Bitcoin, on the other hand, rose 248% in just 35 days, peaking at roughly 19,500 before beginning a long journey down the mountain, one that has taken more than 3 months and we're still kind of going through. So there are a few different theories as to what is causing this decline. It's probably the doxing. I mean, you can't really deny the doxing. 2018 is not having an effect. But what is interesting is the rates, right? So it's 15% to drop. Now, it's 15 times the speed at which the NASDAQ dropped, right? Well, in my opinion, that means that the recovery will also be 15 times, because it took around 12 to 15 years to get from, you know, the big .com bubble bursting in 2000 to basically Facebook being a huge company and having the market capitalization it has today, although that's recently dropped 50 billion. But Facebook, you know, so in that case, if we're seeing that the boom of Bitcoin took 15 years, then the bust and recovery period of it took 15 times quicker. Then the bust and recovery period, you can potentially extrapolate that that's going to be 15 times quicker as well. So with those sort of metrics, could Bitcoin recover within a year? I don't know. Leave a message in the comments and let's explore that theory. So whilst we're here, I'm just going to take a quick look at the comments. Kill the Beast by Bitcoin has said he's just loving my virtual Wirex card, lightning fast transactions and much lower fees than his bank account. Thank you very much, Kill the Beast. Ronnie Nelson has said, lucky you, still waiting for it to come to Denmark. Well, you don't have to wait much longer, Ronnie. So we'll be with you very soon, and we'll be able to offer you that very, very soon. So next bit of news to cover today. Let's see. Well, no one else is talking. So next bit of news to cover today comes from Russia. So a lawsuit in Russia has challenged Google's ban on crypto ads. So this lawsuit has been filed against Google in Russia after the company announced restrictions on cryptocurrency related ads. We actually discussed this topic in a lot of detail in a previous live yesterday. So, you know, if you have an opportunity, go check that out. And it's with regards to foregone earnings. So earnings that potentially would have been made from investments had they had knowledge through Google ads. So that's an interesting development. We'll see how that works out for them. But anyways, that's from Russia. Next bit of news comes from Sierra Leone. Now, Sierra Leone has just broken a record. They've become the first country to run a blockchain-based election, which is a huge proof of concept for blockchain-based technologies. So the citizens of Sierra Leone went to the polls on March the 7th. This time, the country recorded 70% of the votes to a blockchain using a technology that is the first of its kind in actual practice. The tech created by Leonardo Gamar of Agora anonymously stored votes in an immutable ledger, thereby offering instant access to the election results. Usually, results need to be tallied up and counted. This means that the election results could pretty much be instantaneous, which is a huge step forward with regards to blockchain innovation. Next bit of news comes from Switzerland, and it actually dwells upon some of the stuff that me and Pavel have spoken about as well previously. Now, Switzerland has basically positioned itself as the world's leading ICO hub. Why is it the world's leading ICO hub? Well, it is mainly, you know, if this article comes from CCN News, and I mean, the opinion is, with regards to Switzerland being an ICO hub, is because the regulations and the laws are the most attractive to ICOs, right? And see, as of 16th February, the Swiss Financial Authority was the first regulator to officially issue fairly detailed ICO guidelines to help clarify if and how the current Swiss laws will apply to ICOs. Now, it has been impressing lawyers and general counsels, and due to the recent hysteria and critics' plainly alarming statements on the part of central bankers, regulators, and financial prominent people versus ICOs, Switzerland is stepping forward and actually providing some written guidance and guidelines as to what ICO companies can do. So that's really good coming from Switzerland as well. Next bit of news comes from the UK, and this comes following Mark Carney's statements at the G20, where he stated that the total market capitalization of cryptocurrencies is less than 1% of GDP. That hasn't really changed for the last 9 years. So that's that sort of mantra. But Britain's junior finance minister, John Glenn, has confirmed an upcoming government research effort in seeking to better understand and look at potential risks of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. He's actually stated, in our upcoming financial strategy, the government will announce further work with the Financial Conduct Authority and the Bank of England to consider these issues in more details. But he's stressed the point here, which I feel is the most important. There needs to be a regulatory balance to safeguard innovation. So his direct quote is the UK is the best place in the world for fintech, and my mandate is to ensure it remains such. What I'm personally hoping for with the UK leaving the EU at some point, and with Russia also taking an open stance to cryptocurrencies, is that a lot of this geopolitical tension in the air is kind of circumvented into something much more productive, such as building technologies, regulations, and definitions for these technologies within the governments around the world. Hopefully, we can see a sort of competitive technological race as to who can provide the best sort of regulations and the best sort of advancements to this technology globally. And for me, that would be better than, you know, beating the drums of war. So, and would hopefully reduce tensions. So let's hope that that is the case. Next bit of news comes from Monero's community. Now, Monero has apparently declared war on ASICs. And they have launched a proposal to change the kryptonite proof of work algorithm to something else to stop ASICs from being able to mine Monero. So Monero is moving forward. Developers are seeking to protect the network's ASIC resistance by slightly modifying the proof of work algorithm at every scheduled hard fork, which generally occurs twice annually. These changes will not be noticeable to ordinary Monero users, but they will alter the network's hashing algorithm enough that kryptonite ASIC miners would become obsolete following every fork. This is something that's also being looked at other core development teams, such as the Bitcoin core team and I think even maybe Dash, because ASIC miners, what that does is it increases centralization of the hashing and the mining of the algorithm. So, you know, it would be good to have a very decentralized ecosystem that would allow people with graphics cards to earn cryptocurrency and stop people with access to these application-specific, application-specific integrated circuits from having a monopoly on earning the mined cryptocurrency. And that brings us to our last bit of news, which is with regards to Dash, and they've come out and actually filed for a patent, which is why I love Dash's governance, right? Dash has an awesome governance structure that allows it to do things like this, like file for intellectual property rights, such as patents. And they filed for a provisional patent for the Evolution decentralized payment platform, which is due to launch at the end of 2018. That's really interesting. I definitely recommend reading up a bit more on that if you've got some spare time. Now, the last bit of news is probably the bit that you guys have all been waiting for, and that is with regards to the Bitcoin death cross, right? And what does it mean? So we'll have a quick gander at that. This is mine and Gav's trading view, so we're going to be looking at this in more detail tomorrow, right? Now, the death cross is when the 200-day moving average crosses the 50-day moving average. As we can see, they're really, really close, and that usually indicates a huge bull run. I mean, sorry, not bull run, a huge bear run and a huge downturn in the market. So if that happens, then, you know, what can we expect? Bitcoin can probably go down 80% as it has done in the past. And, you know, that would be, for me personally, what I would personally be doing is I would be accumulating all the way down to $2,800 if that was the case. But who knows? And there is another indicator as well. So what we have here is the double top indicator. It's used within sort of a lot of financial instrumentation. And there is a neckline, as you can see, where there is a dip between the two tops. If we look at the Bitcoin price chart, we get something very similar, right? We have over here, let me move this out of the way. We have over here one top and another top and a neckline, right? if we can see, we've actually broken past the neckline previously on a previous attempt to break it. But as you can see here, today is also another breakout attempt, today and tomorrow. So this is something to watch very, very closely, because if we fail to break out the neckline, then what happens is a big drop and a big decline. So that is something definitely to keep in mind and to watch very, very closely. And it's something that we're going to be discussing in a lot more detail tomorrow on the Wirex Trading Charts News. So make sure that you tune into that. That is going to be coming out live at 4 p.m. But, you know, with regards to this death cross likelihood, if Bitcoin retains its current bull run, then that might push the averages to a point where they don't, you know, they don't cross. Because this is the thing, Dean has just mentioned on YouTube that there is also an inverse head and shoulders following. So this could be a shoulder, this could be the head, and then the next shoulder would be a big bull run. So there are mixed indicators currently in this very uncertain stage of the market. The MACD is looking a bit bullish, but again, these are things that we're going to discuss in a lot more detail, just a bit of information, background on those indicators, and we're going to be discussing these in a lot more detail in tomorrow's charts and trades analysis. So keep posted. If there is a crossover, my prediction, the death cross will happen, you know, between the 29th and 30th if, you know, we see another bear run. But who knows? Let's watch. Maybe the Goxing Bitcoins will hit the exchange and we'll try and force that. But we've got to watch and see. It's so exciting. There's so much drama. But really and truly, the thing to be aware of is that innovations are currently happening and Lightning Network is live. So many people are investing thousands of hours of research and development into building this infrastructure, and it's really, really exciting. It's really, really exciting. I can't wait to see what happens. And yeah, so keep it posted, keep Wirex. I want to see you guys post your questions on the community forum. I want to see you guys commenting on the videos. We're live on DLive, Twitch, and other places, so make sure you check us out there. And also make sure that you subscribe to all of those other channels as well. So thank you very much for joining me today. That's everything that we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed that Wirex weekly news update, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on the next live, which is the crypto charts and trades, where we will be going into a lot more detail as into which cryptocurrencies are doing well. So make sure you join us there live, and you can ask us which coins you want us to do some TA on as well. That is everything from me today. My name is Raphael, and I am signing off. Take it easy, guys.